Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day. Yo, what is up there, guys? And welcome back to a brand new episode of The Evolve. Man, how y'all guys doing on today? You know what? I'm doing all right. You know who wasn't doing all right? DJ Vlad. You know, in the beef between DJ Vlad versus Rick Ross, it got pretty physical. Not just physical, but there was blood, there was stitches, there was broken noses, there was fractures, there was a lot of stuff. So today we are going... Today, I mean, they handle DJ Vlad like orange juice. They beat him to a pulp. It was bad, people. But anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about on today in this new series, this three-part series, with regards to DJ Vlad versus Rick Ross and how he sued them. Rick Ross for $4 million and the whole details and what happened with the case and all that other good stuff. So let's talk. Let's just get right into it, shall we? Mr. Boss, every day I'm hustling, the bad boy, brick pushing, dope slinging, kingpin, druggy, Rick Ross himself, a boss. So, you know, back in 2006, he got his big break. Now, there was a bidding war. Both P. Diddy, and this was before he even released Hustlin', which was his biggest song and album till date. Rick Ross, who is those of you all that don't know, Rick Ross was big back in the early, let's say 2005, 2006, 2008. He had his time, but then we found out that Rick Ross ain't really pushing no bricks. The only thing he's pushing is convicts in a cell. But we'll get to that. You see, Rick Ross, like I was saying, there was this bidding war between Irv Gotti and P. Diddy. They both wanted this guy. This guy was popping. This guy was hot, man. He was in. Everybody wanted a single with, believe me, I'm telling you, everybody want Rick Ross on the track because he was a boss. And Irv Gotti, P. Diddy, you had Murder Inc. and you had Bad Boy Entertainment. They were fighting to get him signed. Now, he ended up signing with neither one of them. He ended up signing, guess what? He ended up signing with Jay-Z, and then he released an album. So things were popping. He was a boss, and let me tell you, a lot of people, when I told you a lot of people wanted him, these are some of the people that he did songs with, that he ended up doing songs with. We're talking Meek Mill, Gucci Mane, Jay-Z, Nas, Future, Triple C, T-Pain, Omarion, and so many more. I'm talking, did I say Meek Mill? Meek Mill, and so many more. Like, he was on everybody's rack. I mean, because he had this persona of this big drug pen. And not only that, he had claimed to know and have found and seen Pablo Escobar. He was good friends with him, although that was a little weird because he was only 17 years old when Pablo actually died. So things were a little shaky about his story, but people want him on the rack because he seemed like this hardcore, this gangster, this authentic, this drug pen. He talked about slanging and bricks, and you know, so people are attracted to that. You know, that's kind of what happened with Tekashi 6ix9ine. He had this gang appeal, so all these young people, he got millions and millions and millions of fans because of this appeal and this persona, the boss. But things got a little shaky. You see, a exposed company that don't mess around called The Smoking Gun, they came out with a picture. They released the picture in 2008 when Mr. Boss was at the peak of everything, and they released this picture. You see what this picture is? This is a picture of a black boss in a cop uniform. He's in a correctional uniform. So it was found out that they were saying that this person right here is actually Rick Ross. He wasn't doing nothing with no dope. He ain't out here in these streets. Look, he's with the mans in them. He's a cop. This is not his real story that he's rapping about. The Smoking Gun had released and exposed this picture. You know what Rick Ross did? Yo, that ain't me. Y'all sing my songs. Y'all see my videos. I'm out here slanging. I'm Rick Ross. Come on now. They don't even look like me. Look at that person and look at me. Look, do that look like me? Huh? Come on now. Y'all making me really mad right now. So that's what Rick Ross said. He went on several interviews throughout that year denying that was his picture. Actually, he stated that people on the internet was just putting his face on the picture of the cop. It's a really good Photoshop for 2008, if that's true. I need to see it because I can barely do that good of a job in 2020 with all the necessary tools. But anyway, he said people was putting the picture. He said it was the mans in them trying to tear the black community down. But that's right. But he gonna go back out here and he gonna slang still. Smoking Gun said, is that right? Is that right? You gonna try to tell us we lying? We got a reputation now. You gonna tell us we lying? So the Smoking Gun, they digged a little bit deeper. And let me tell you, what they came up with, what they did to Rick Ross, the evidence that they provided, they did not just provide a picture this time, but they used their right to the court of law to public release records, and they waited for months, and they started getting stuff in. They got this man's social security card. Boom! So they presented on their website his social security card. Yes, they did. They plugged his social security card and they matched his number with the number and with the name that is actually on his CD and his albums that was released. And he said it was a fake security card. So they're like, okay, we got more for you. They went and they found this. It was a certificate. It was an award certificate from the correctional office that he was working at, from the jail facility he was working at. See, he got an award for perfect attendance. The CEO, his supervisor, said not only was he a good CEO, but he was a boss. He was the boss of CEOs. He was there every day. He didn't miss a day. Slanging them in the cell, man. He was the best CEO. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Yo, they lying. That ain't me. I ain't even get no awards. I'm black. I show up late. That don't even make sense. I'm black. I show up late. That don't even make sense. Why would I get perfect attendance? Is what Rick Ross said. He said that he can barely wake up and start selling drugs each day, every day on time. Let known. He said that don't make sense. So the Smoking Gun, guys, this is so sad. So, is that right? The Smoking Gun said, is that right? We got more. Put up the application. So the Smoking Gun got this man's application. His original application that he used when he registered for the CO job, it had his name. They had his mother's name that is on the album. They matched it with the mother's name for the dedication that he put on the album. It had his address and everything. They got the man's application. They said stop. And not only that, they took the name that was on the application, that was on the social security card, and they ran a background check on this man. They ran a background check, and you guess what you found from the boss? The boss is super clean. Rick Ross ain't never sold. He even got a misdemeanor. He ain't even talked back to his preschool teacher. His record was clean. And the picture, it all matched Rick Ross on the background check. So the host was up for Rick Ross. And this is where VladTv comes in. So VladTv, being a news outlet that he is, he started reporting on the Rick Ross and on the fakery and the trickery and the fake persona. But not only that, Vlad had gotten contact and did an interview with the real Rick Ross, the real drug slinger, the real kingpin. And this Rick Ross ended up suing the Rick Ross. That's another story for like part 3 or 4. But he started doing interviews with the real Rick Ross, and they start clowning Rick Ross. And not only that, Vlad, whenever he had someone to come on the show, he would always ask them about what they thought about Rick Ross and his fakery and all that other stuff. So this was really starting to trigger and really make the boss mad. Every time you talking about me, Vlad, every time you asking people that have nothing to do with me, wait, that sounds familiar. Wait, before there was him, there was Rick Ross. Okay, so Rick Ross, this, Vlad was single-handedly, like really exposing to a broader audience, and people was coming into grips. So, people like Snoop Dogg and everybody else, they start distant themselves and they start laughing at Rick Ross. I mean, he was the laugh of the game because Vlad interviews really got it out to a more hip-hop community. And this made Rick Ross mad. So Rick Ross, he comes up with a plan. He finds out that VladTv, that Vlad is in Houston, and somehow he gets Vlad's number. And according to Vlad and the testimony and the first documents, Rick Ross, he then proceeded to get a text from Rick Ross saying, the first text was, "Hey, you gonna learn." And then he was like, Trilla! That was like his album. And then Vlad was like, who this? So then Rick Ross is like, this Rick Ross, I heard a lot of stuff. We need to talk. So then Vlad, he kind of like texts back, and Vlad is like, okay, I'm in Houston. You in Houston? Wanna do an interview? Yeah, hey, views. Oh, every day I'm hustling. So, Rick Ross was like, hey, I'm about to beat this boy down. That way everybody know not to talk about this. I'm about to set an example. So Rick Ross, he calls up his boys. He calls up 4 or 5 other boys, and they meet in a hotel. He tells them to meet in this hotel, and then he texts Vlad back and say, hey, yo, yeah, can we do an interview? I want to talk to you just so I want to give my side of the story. Boss. So Vlad was like, ching, ching, ching. And he was like, all right, you can give your side of the story. So he gets to the hotel, and he gets a story that he didn't want. He gets a story that he wasn't expecting. And we'll stop right there because that's for part 2. Guys, we'll stop right there. This video has gotten long enough, but it gets crazy in part 2. They go off and Vlad try to fight back and oh my God, and then the court and then the money and then the real Rick Ross. This is insane in the membrane, people. So this is part 1 of our brand new series. I hope you guys enjoy just as much as I enjoy just talking about it and showing you guys clips and putting this thing together, guys. I will see you all. Tell me if you want to see part 2 or if you're down with this, man. But anyway, this is for educational purposes. No, Rick Ross, I will not meet with you, man. I don't want to talk about it, all right? Yo, I'm going to get blocked. I'm going to get blocked. Let me add them to my list. Anyway, this is gonna be fun there, guys. Follow me on Twitter. I will see you guys in the very next episode. Keep hustling every day. You hustling. KIP, keep it positive. Yeah, every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm about.